All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Behind the Scenes here from Youngstown Studio. I'm BJ Lisco filling in for Joe Danyi, and with us today we have Scott from Voices for Autism. Scott, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, man, give us a little bit of a background, man. How did Voices for Autism come to be?
Voices for Autism came to be. We started working on some film projects, and I was looking for a way to use these relationships that I was forming with people that I was working with, mostly national recording artists. And the interaction, my daughter is autistic, and the interaction that they were having with her, and I wanted to put them on film, and Voices for Autism was born out of that.
I got you. You know, I mean, obviously, autism affects you and your daughter. You're kind of right there. What are some of the biggest, I guess, kind of misconceptions about living with a loved one that has autism?
Oh, wow, it depends on the person. I mean, there's so many different variables. I can only speak on what I go through. It's 24-hour care, with my daughter. When she was born, about a year and a half into her life, we started to see some changes, and that's when we were told she had autism. The first thing that somebody had told me, and it always stuck with me, it's great advice, is that you just have to, the person that you thought she was going to be isn't going to be that person, and you have to accept that, and she's going to be whoever she's going to be. And my daughter has anyone that's met her or interacted with her has an amazing personality, and she's very magnetic, and that's why all these projects just keep building and building.
Yeah, I mean, talk a little bit about some of the projects you worked on. We're going to watch, you have a short film with Kevin Martin of Candlebox that we're going to show here in a little bit. But yeah, talk about some of the projects that have sort of come about, since you started the organization.
Yeah, so we started building calming rooms with printed electronics in them for people with autism. And I work with a friend of mine, she's Disney Junior star, Genevieve Goings from Choo Choo Soul. And I've worked with her for about 10 years, and I brought her in on the project. And she's done all the production, the voice work for that. We started getting to other films, and now we've had offers to turn our short documentary into a feature. We're starting to work with more music artists and now some celebrities, some actors and actresses, and they're now coming on board to we say they're lending their voice to autism for us, and those projects have just been snowballing, and it's just been exciting.
Yeah, describe a little bit of how you've been able to kind of bridge that gap from your work, kind of in the entertainment field and working with all these artists and entertainers, how you've kind of been able to bridge that gap to bring them over to Voices for Autism.
It was actually easy because I was friends with a lot of them already, and they had met Sophia, and they were becoming friends with her. And that's what happened with Kevin Martin from Candlebox. And he had never experienced autism or been around anybody with autism and didn't know anything about it, but he and my daughter just formed this friendship, and I started to see the authentic version of him. And she doesn't see fame, and she doesn't see anything that goes with that. She just saw her friend Kevin. And I wanted to put that on film, and I wanted other people to see that, and I wanted them to see this famous person interacting with my daughter who's autistic and see what that relationship was like. And I called him up and I asked him about it, and he says, yeah, count me in. And we were filming pretty quickly after that. And a couple of our two films that we've done have both won several awards at film festivals, including Autism Awareness Film of the Year for both of them. And Kevin knew nothing about autism. He just thought it was amazing to meet her and interact and be part of that film.
Talk a little bit more, too, if you would, about the calming rooms that you guys set up, and they're called what? So they're called Sophie's Place after Sophia, right?
Yep. Yeah, Sophia's Place. We built the first one in the Carousel Center in Austintown, and that room, it took about 2 years of planning, and we just launched it in September of last year. And the owner, Shannon Arcade, was kind enough to let us build in there, and they financed the project, and we ended up splitting it and doing 2 rooms. So we did the calming room, and we also did a music room, and both have the technology. It's a state-of-the-art technology where they are touch points, there are no wires. It's all electroconductive ink, and it's placed behind the artwork. So whatever artwork you put over them, the user can touch these touch points and create this, a secure atmosphere. They can really control their entire environment. And the calming room is for someone that's maybe a little overly stimulated, and maybe the lights are too bright or too loud, or noises, or too many people, and they need to feel a sense of security and calm down. And the music wall in a separate room is actually the opposite. It's to stimulate, and it's more of a community place. And several users can use that, and they can navigate this wall and actually build an entire song that Genevieve Goings not only wrote, but produced all the music for, and all the voiceovers and everything for.
Oh, wow, nice. So, what advice would you give somebody? All right, so say a parent discovers for the first time that their child has autism. What kind of advice can you give that person that first kind of discovers that situation?
I know from my experience, the initial shock, you go through a lot of things, right? And you go through a lot of things with this initial shock, and I would say start seeking out help and some information, and everything is going to be okay. It's going to be okay, and there are a lot of programs out there, and there's a lot of support groups. We work locally with the Mahoning Valley Autism Society. They've been huge supporters of ours. I would suggest going that route.
So, see, you've got some awards here as well too. Man. Show our viewers if you would.
Yeah. So this award here, this was for a film that we did called Sophia, I Love You. This was actually not planned. We had originally started working with Kevin Martin, and the filmmakers saw a story about my daughter and myself. They wanted to show that side of autism. It's a 15-minute short doc. This is the Golden Door, the International Golden Door Film Festival in New Jersey that's run by the Sorvino family. We won this in 22. And then this film, this one was the Autism Awareness Film of the Year for the Kevin Martin film called In the Moment. And that's a 5-minute short doc. And this we won last year, actually. Yeah, so.
Nice, excellent, man. So we're going to get into our video here, and feel free to comment on kind of what's going on. I know there's a lot of clips here. I believe of you guys putting together the Sophie's Place in the Carousel Center in Austintown, correct?
So this is right when the panels first came in. This is the warehouse at MG Electric, and we're just Mike Johnston right there he's testing all the panels. This is the room before anything was done. Murphy Contracting did the setup for that, and that's the vinyl going onto the walls. There's Mike putting in the master console. That's the box that basically operates all of the electronics and the sound. And they're just cutting the areas for the panels to go into the walls at this point. There's a little motherboard on the back of each panel, each touch point panel that has to be fitted into that area. So they designed all these electronics came from the company, and then MG Electric had to wire them. They're normally Bluetooth, and we chose to hardwire these. They're just fitting it now onto the wall, and then we had these custom acrylic frames made for them, so that way they would stay in place on the wall. That way nobody can pull on them or, hang on them or pull them off the wall.
Gotcha.
We're just testing. This is the first day of testing. Now this is the music wall. Bill Mouse is the illustrator. He's done things for like DC and Marvel. He actually designed that digitally, and then DC Graphics is installing the vinyl.
This episode was brought to you by Youngstown Computer, the Valley's technology company. We appreciate the loyalty and all you have shown us over the years, and it's our promise to serve all the technology needs of the Valley. Call 330-259-7278. We have both home and business services available. Everything from repair, installations, and new equipment. You can improve your Wi-Fi and have technology serve you better. Call 330-259-7278 Or you can schedule your appointment right now on youngstowncomputer.com and look for the red Book Now button.
That's Casual Carpets is putting together the carpet. All that was all custom designed. Even this carpet that's going in here, we, laid it out and traced it out on the floor. We wanted to create, for this room, we wanted to create a feel of like you're going into a forest. And so we cut the carpet that way. It was challenging, but they pulled it off. This is the carpet going in. So we created, it looks like a path. And that's Genevieve Goings from Disney Junior and my daughter. That was the launch of the rooms when we did our media day. And of course, everyone knows Mike Case. He's followed our progress for a couple years now. And that's back at the warehouse, looking at the panels. That was exciting. We had just got them in that week. Yeah, they're wrapping up the vinyl in that room. Genevieve is testing out her wall. So that wall there, the part that she's working on right now, you have different rows of instruments: drums, guitar, bass, keyboards, vocals, and they're all the same beats per minute, and they're all the same. It's the same song, just different versions of it, and you can pick your drum beat, you can pick your bass line, you can pick your vocals, and then you can even change them up and put a different drum beat in it mid-song if you want. And on the side panels, they have touch points for random sounds, cymbals and drums and claps. And we even had different artists, some of the horn section from Gloria Estefan and George Clinton sent us some clips that we incorporated into this wall. And our plan is to do that in the future, to have walls that incorporate a lot of different artists into them. This is the launch. All those characters, each wall has, the storybook, you can hear a story that Genevieve is narrating. There's characters on there that have different voices that she's voiced over. Yeah, that's Sophia just checking the wall out. After a certain amount of time, she was pretty much over it. She's like, she would rather just vacuum and clean, and she would sit there and vacuum and vacuum the room 10 times.
But talk to me a little bit about the sort of the different sounds that I guess people can expect on kind of on these walls.
Sure. The calming room that we designed was designed specifically for the Carousel Center. It's what she had wanted. So what we did is we took different sounds. We have calming sounds like a brook that's running, running water, that kind of a thing, birds chirping, crickets. And then there's other options on there. So there's a storybook option where if somebody wants to touch that and just listen to Genevieve tell them a really calming story, that's on there. There are drone sounds, which are more like just humming, kind of calming sounds like you would maybe hear if you're going to get a massage done or something. And we call them critters. Each critter that's on there, whether it's a frog or a bird, there's touch points. You can also hear what they sound like. So there's a lot of different options. So when the user goes in there, they can control their entire environment. So if they just want to calm down and hear the calming sounds, they could do that. We've had users just walk each panel and listen to each story individually. We have some that just stare at the pictures, and don't do anything. So what's great about it is you can actually go in and control how you want to feel and how you want to feel secure.
Was this room was this one the first of its kind, or was this based off of something else? Or
well, there's calming rooms, have been out there. This is the first one in the world like this with printed electronics on the walls.
Any plans? I mean, is anybody kind of contact? I mean, I know this one has just recently opened, but yeah, I mean, any plans kind of in the works, to sort of send this technology out elsewhere too?
Absolutely. We already have just local. We're getting ready to do our national press release. We just locally have probably a half a dozen inquiries. I can't say where, but you know, that will be. We've already started designing.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Yeah, well, so yes, this next part of the video, this is the short film that you mentioned before with Kevin of Candlebox. And how did you originally meet Kevin?
I met Kevin actually through the lead singer, Bobby Amaru of Saliva, and we went to Michigan, and they were doing an acoustic show together. And if you see the film, we kind of talk about it, but I met Kevin, and we sat down and just started talking. We sat in a booth, and we were talking about our kids, and we just clicked, and we stayed in contact, and then I brought him in for a couple shows and started working with him a little bit. He met Sophia a few times, and just was awesome with her. You know, just was, the connection they had was amazing. And I called him and I said, hey, here's my idea. You know, what do you think? And he was 30 seconds in. He's like, yeah, just count me in and let's do this. He loved it. And met with her, and he was gracious. And he came to her school. We were there all day, and he wasn't in a rush. He was very gracious, and he's become a good friend of ours. And Sophia's got a silly sense of humor. She, I mean, she brightens the room wherever she goes, and I think that was his interaction with her, not dealing with someone with autism before, really was special, and I think it made him, he learned a lot about autism, watching, working with us in this film.
And is this just filmed, I'm guessing this is just filmed around the valley?
Most of it, yeah, most of it's local.
This episode was brought to you by Youngstown Computer, the Valley's technology company. We appreciate the loyalty and all you have shown us over the years, and it's our promise to serve all the technology needs of the Valley. Call 330-259-7278. We have both home and business services available. Everything from repair, installations, and new equipment. You can improve your Wi-Fi and have technology serve you better. Call 330-259-7278. Or you can schedule your appointment right now on youngstowncomputer.com and look for the red Book Now button.
Most of it's local, and we did a lot of the live shot of him in concert and everything. We went to different locations that he was performing at.
What would you say is the biggest takeaway you want kind of people that watch just this short film to, what's the biggest takeaway you want them to have?
I would say with this is that just to stop, and if you encounter someone with autism, they're all different. Autism isn't just one person. There's a saying, if you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. And a lot of people, when they meet Sophia, I would say the majority interact pretty well with her, but some people are it's off-putting sometimes, or they don't know how to accept her or how to handle her or how to take it, or they're confused or whatever. And I accept that.
When she's watching Kevin on stage, she just is so proud of him. That's her friend.
Be in the moment, be me, be with my family, and enjoy all is beautiful. And I think that's what I've learned from Sophia.
So is this one of her teachers?
That was her teacher from her summer camp over at Leonard Kurtz School in Austintown.
That's where this is at now.
Yeah,
here?
Kevin. Yeah, he came in and he spent the day with us here, and what's great about the film is even in the film, just the way she interacts with him is humorous, because you're thinking, here's this famous rock singer, and they're talking the way they're talking, and it's just kind of it always makes me laugh every time I see it. But he was just Kevin, and that's the greatest thing about these situations. And but he's always been like that around me, anyways. But a lot of people don't get to see that side of him and a lot of these other celebrities that we work with.
Yeah, it was very, very cool of him to do this and to come down for sure.
Yeah, that's the part where she calls him a goofball. But he got a lot out of this, I think, emotionally. You know, in the film, he says, you know, he thinks about his own family, his own kids, and I don't know, just like I said, just the friendship that they formed is very special.
Are there any other, kind of short film projects or any other sort of film projects you guys have in the works?
Yeah, we have one right now that we're getting ready to shoot. I think we'll do some of it locally. We're going to shoot a trailer for a film. I don't want to give too much away, but one of the actors one of the characters is autistic in the film. So we're going to start that project. Right now we're in a fundraising mode. We always are. I mean, it's a foundation. So we are in a fundraising mode. We're looking for sponsors and for funding, and same thing with the calming rooms. You know,
where was this concert at here?
I was just trying to figure. I think that was in somewhere out in Pennsylvania. I think that was a casino show, I believe.
Nice. Well, very cool. Well, Scott, if folks want to kind of get in touch, if they have more questions, if they want to donate, I mean, how do they get in touch with you guys?
So we are voicesforautism.org, and it's the number 4, and you can reach us on Facebook at Voices for Autism, and also Voices for Autism Rocks on Instagram as well.
Nice. And so you mentioned, possibly working on that film project. What else do you guys kind of have on tap for the rest of this year?
Currently, we have that the trailer that we're going to be filming soon in the summertime. We just are working on kicking off a project with the Autism Society, I just spoke with the president of the National Autism Society today. And that project's going to probably start rolling this summer. And we have lined up several celebrities and music artists that we're going to be doing something similar to this. This film we did with Kevin is pretty much, we're going to leave that alone, and we don't want to, try and recreate that. So that's going to be left alone. But we're going to now work on it's almost like morphing a podcast into a social media video platform. So we're starting to work with some big concert venues and working with artists that are going to be coming in and performing, and then we're going to film with them. So we have a lot of stuff, a lot of things we're working on.
So will there be, you mentioned, some artists coming in, I'm not sure if you can divulge this, will there be any kind of, tying in your entertainment background, any like bigger concerts or anything like that are sort of, fundraising, awareness kind of events?
Yeah, coincidentally, you will be performing at an event, the New Waterford Beer and Wine Festival out in New Waterford in September. I secured the entertainment for them, and I've been working with Jason Golby over there, who's the event organizer, and he is having a couple of the items signed, and they're going to sign some of the guitars. Saliva's going to be performing there, and also CJ Solar is on the bill, along with locally the Berries and the Goldilocks Band, who, from, if you know wrestling, what you do is, you know her from the wrestling world, and Garrett Owen, and that is September. They're going to have some of the artists sign some instruments, and that half of the funding they're going to give to our foundation, which is pretty cool. So we'll be involved in that in some way.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, Scott, thank you so much for stopping by, man. I appreciate the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, this is Kellen with Youngstown Studio. Entrepreneurs, artists, and entertainers of all types drop by our place often, and we sometimes get the question, what all does Youngstown Studio do? Well, I'm here to show you. Youngstown Studio is a full-service podcasting and interview studio. We feature creatives from around the Mahoning Valley, rent our space to podcasters, distribute shows to popular podcasting channels, and we help tell the stories of hardworking people in our community. Youngstown Studio produces the Business Spotlight television show Behind the Scenes with Joe Danyi, every Saturday at 11 a.m. on WBCB, The Valley CW, we highlight a different Mahoning Valley business. We featured everything from manufacturing plants and 3D printing facilities to local entertainment venues, breweries, recording studios, and more. Youngstown Studio is also home to Youngstown Studio Marketing. We create and design social media graphics, videos, reels, and manage and promote the online presence of Mahoning Valley businesses of all types. We rebrand local businesses and design their logos, signage, merchandise, and more. We design event posters, concert flyers, print advertisements, newsletters, and anything and everything in between when it comes to graphic design. We record live performances here in our studio for online streaming or to help promote your music or upcoming concerts. We write, record, and produce radio and podcast advertisements. Need a voiceover or do you want to record an audiobook? We can do that. We also handle the marketing and promotions of our parent company, Youngstown Computer, the Valley's IT company. If your business needs marketing help, if you want to record a podcast, or if you have a business idea you want to get off the ground, call Youngstown Studio today. Need social media management or marketing services for your business? We specialize in graphic design, logos and rebranding, commercial video production, podcast production, social media design and advertising campaigns, newsletters, radio advertising, and voiceovers. Call Youngstown Studio Marketing today, 330-259-7278, and choose option 3. Youngstown Studio Marketing, a Youngstown Computer company. Hey, it's Kellen here at Youngstown Studio, where we record Behind the Scenes with Joe Danyi, a show you can check out Saturday mornings at 11 on WBCB. We feature local businesses all around our area and tell the story of the hardworking people there. Do you know a business that would love to be featured on Behind the Scenes with Joe Danyi? Just shoot BJ an email and let us know all about this business. And again, make sure you check it out 11 a.m. Saturdays on WBCB, recorded right here at Youngstown Studio. Don't let the weather keep you from working on your golf game. Golf year-round at The Bunker. Enjoy 12 state-of-the-art golf simulators, including numerous putt-putt courses, plus refreshments at the back bar and dining room. Visit bunkersp.com or stop by in person. The Bunker inside the Southern Park Mall.